guys, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Between Shelf and Screen.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Alex. Now that's enough of Alex. Today, I will be going over I Am Legend, the movie with Will Smith. I don't know what year it came out, so it's just
2008?
Nate. That's 9 and 8 combined. So I don't know.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? All right.
Okay.
We did book last week.
We did book.
Now we do movie.
We do movie.
Yes, review.
Oh.
Action.
We review book and movie.
And see which one better.
Okay. All right.
So, I've seen this movie a cajillion times. So I want to know.
Did you read the book a cajillion times?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
How many?
Twice.
You didn't even have a copy of it until you went to London. So how do you explain that?
Well, Audible.
Real question is audiobooks, does that count as reading?
No.
Wow, okay. No debate.
No, yes, it does.
Okay, wow, changing your opinion. All right.
I'm an
You just want to
unreliable
appease
narrator.
everyone.
I'm an unreliable narrator.
That's my favorite story, actually.
Yes.
Like, trope, not story.
No, honestly, it is much more entertaining.
I like not trusting people.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Why would you trust somebody when then you couldn't? Anyways.
I don't trust your opinion. So today I will be going over mine about the movie. And this is my first time watching it. I thought that I watched it before. No idea what movie I actually did watch because it was not this movie. First let's start out.
There's actually 2 adaptations. I forgot.
Yeah,
to
it
mention
wasn't either.
that. Yeah, it was like one was from the 80s and it was just like a vampire shoot 'em up. They're like, please sir, I make your weapons.
I do remember that scene. I think
Yeah.
that was the movie that I watched,
Yeah,
actually.
and he wore leggings and he twerked.
He scared him off. You know, you do what you gotta do.
You do what you gotta do.
I would be scared.
Yeah.
I already feel intimidated
I
talking about it.
would need bigger weapons.
I'm intimidated.
All right.
This is too scary for me.
Dude, honestly, scary in the movie. So, okay, oh wow.
I want to first start off with the adaptation. Like, did we think it was accurate?
No, yeah, no.
No,
not at all.
It wasn't.
Not at all.
So read the book and don't watch the movie. That's the end of mine.
Well, did you like the movie?
No, I did like the movie. I thought that as its own separate thing, it was good. I really liked the opening scene. I found that very relatable.
Yeah. Got a car girl over here. She likes your cars.
I will say, if I ended up in Apocalypse, GT500 would be one of my top choices of cars to steal.
The hunting tactic is so wild to me because he's just racing and then he's like got an M4 like this and he's like.
It had to have been sponsored.
Yeah.
Like, there was no need for that
I mean,
scene.
it was dope.
It was pretty
It was
sick.
really cool.
I thought I was watching Fast and Furious for a second.
Yeah. Where's Paul Walker?
Oh, no. Too soon.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Have you seen the Fast and Furious movies?
Nope.
Me
and
neither.
I never will. I never will.
It's on Netflix now, so actually that's what we're reviewing next. I'm going to bring a car in here. We're going to review the car, and then we're going to watch the Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, and see if cars are like that.
See if they really do that.
Yeah. Do they drive? Up for debate.
It did take a while for you to get your license, right?
No.
I thought you got it at 18.
No.
20?
No. I got it at 16. Where did you come up with this?
I just wanted to lie.
Oh. I'm like, did I tell you this at some point? Like, what? What is happening?
No, I just felt like lying.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I really wanted it. You didn't get your car until later, though, right?
No, I got it at 16.
That one?
No, I got a old 1998 Ford Ranger.
So you are a Ford guy.
Yep. Built tough, you know?
Found on the road?
Yeah, we just found it. We're like, this'll do.
Okay, good.
We're like, how on this one?
I think that's what Will Smith did.
He definitely
Neville?
did that.
Neville is his name?
Yeah.
Neville. Because he's evil.
Okay.
Depends on the ending that you watch, but we won't get into that yet.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll give my opinions. So they're pretty much the exact same as yours. It's
I'm so glad we agree every time.
like I gotta say it's not the worst adaptation I've ever seen. Like definitely not the worst. Like, but it's not a good adaptation by any means. Like it's just from like the only thing that it's somewhat similar with is the concept and the isolation. That's it. That's the only thing that like draws parallels, and it's also different time period, different place, literally Manhattan. Which,
yeah,
honestly, I kind of like Manhattan better.
I did like that. I think that makes more sense for like the looting aspect, but the time period completely kind of changed it.
Yeah.
Like homeboy was watching TV. I was like, okay, that wasn't in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no. In the 70s, he was not watching network TV when the world ended. It was definitely just pre-recordings, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was reviewing it for like the news aspect to see what people had reported.
I took it as like he was doing that to like keep like some sort of like human interaction present in his life.
I think that's partially it, like entertainment, but I thought that he was watching specifically recorded news that were discussing it to like, go over everything to see if he missed
it could have been that
things.
too.
That's what I thought. But
Yeah, and he was
I
trying
don't
to
know.
make his dog
He
eat
has
his
like 3
vegetables.
years. Maybe he recorded only the news stuff because he was like, I gotta know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Did it ever explain why he was immune?
No, it was just like I think they kind
That
of.
was weird.
I think they kind of like answered the question as like, they're like, oh, a certain percentage of the population's immune. But
certain.
I don't know why his wife was.
His wife was?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Well, I don't know if she was, but remember how they were scanning her?
true.
Yeah, they're like, he goes, scan her again, and they did, and they're like, oh, she's clear. I don't know.
I thought that might
those are
have
little
been.
plot holes, though.
I thought that might have been like. The machine was just counting everyone kind of as. Like, I don't know. I thought it might have been something where they were saying that everyone was like infected with it.
Well, airborne. So it was airborne. So
right,
like,
but I thought like it literally like the machine was just gonna say it no matter what unless they overrid it, and like so because they knew him because he worked with like the medical, they might have just like overrid it. That's why they cleared him.
Actually, that's a good point. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking because
That's an interesting perspective. Maybe it was. Maybe I missed something.
Because it just made no sense why she would suddenly not be.
But there was like people in front of him that were just like clear first, like random people.
Maybe. I don't know. That was just my theory because I was like, I have no idea how and how did they make that technology so quickly?
Well, I think that's just like one of those things, like plot device.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But, I thought it kind of worked just because you saw the woman that didn't pass with her kid, and then she started, like, hemorrhaging from her eyes.
I did notice that.
That was sad. But, okay.
Yeah.
So, I want to give props to this movie because I saw it first, and, like, I really did love this movie, and I still do. Like,
did you see the alternate ending?
No, I didn't see that one first. I just saw the regular ending.
Right, but like, did you watch it and then read the book? Like, did you watch the alternate ending?
Yeah, but a long, long time ago, definitely.
Okay.
And like, every now and then I'll like rewatch it just because it's nostalgic for I guess how I viewed it back in the day. But it like the first time.
Back in the 2008.
Dude, I think I did see it that year, but yeah, no, it's a really good movie. I think. Honestly, like I did enjoy it, and for what it was, I think it did well. And I had no source material to base it off of, so I was just like, oh yeah, I love it.
Right.
But,
I thought so. Like, taking what I know from the book out, like, I definitely would have enjoyed that movie. I thought that the vampire zombie mix was, like, they did a really good job with that as a whole. Because they were, like, genuinely scary.
Terrifying.
Like, they didn't shy away. And I think part of that had to do with the sound, because it would just crank up the sound almost to an annoying level.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't hear the dialogue, but whatever. But apparently, first of all, they got like hate on. A lot of people don't like the zombies because, like, I guess the CGI was bad, which you can tell that it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't think for the time period.
For the time period, that's really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know
like,
why people hate on that. Either way, there's a ton of stuff that has bad CGI, but people still love it. So
Yeah.
I was like, I thought they were cool.
And I thought they were like a cool mix between like mindless, just like devouring, like just consuming people, and like kind of like a tribal mind. With like they're almost like humans, like pre-caveman age.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It was like, we know that they think, but they really don't care about a whole lot.
Yeah.
And so
They care about feeding, and then they have some sort of hierarchy, which obviously that one zombie, which
Yeah.
I assume
Was
was supposed to be Ben Corum.
yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure it
had to
was.
have been based off at least.
Yeah.
But like, you really can't relate any of this all that much to the book because they just changed so much. Like the only relatable one is Neville,
Yeah.
and that's about it. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you can find like the woman was Ruth. Was that her name in the book?
supposed to be Ruth, but like they changed it to Anna.
Yeah, they
for
changed
some
her
reason.
name. They changed like all that she is as a person
Yep.
and her whole motivation. And they add another character, and then the dog's a dog still.
Yeah.
They didn't change that.
But it does have a name now.
It does
Sam.
have a name,
And it's been there for a while.
Yeah. And the dog liked him. Yeah.
His only companion. Which, honestly, I kind of like that.
Right.
I kind of like that it was his dog to start out with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
think that works better.
because
it's
it
more
makes
devastating.
sense for the isolation.
Yeah.
And like the family also completely changed. Like he really didn't obsess all that much over the family. Like there were flashbacks throughout the movie.
Oh, I disagree.
I didn't.
Like he
guess
is tore up over it.
I guess he.
Very tore up.
But it wasn't like. I don't know. He didn't view women in the same way as Book Neville did.
Oh, where he kept on seeing Virginia and every single vampire.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he was affected by it because it brings it up throughout and you kind of learn more about his past, but it wasn't as like in the same way as Book Neville was affected.
That's true.
And also he did think about the child. I feel like he thought about the child more than the wife in the movie.
Which honestly, that makes
More sense.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, obviously like you would 100% grieve your spouse, but like the kid is such like across the board, I think everybody agrees that a kid is way more devastating loss.
Yeah.
And also, like, you know, as far as adaptation, I don't like this, but I like the whole concept of like the vaccine for cancer creates like I thought that
was interesting.
it was a cool I love that cold open so much because they're talking about it on the news and then it just cuts into like Manhattan is just destroyed.
Right.
Really cool.
Yeah, I like that. And for a second, I was like, am I watching the right thing? Because
Yeah.
I know that it never really explained that in the book. I thought that was interesting. And they
Yeah.
also made Neville, like, an actual, like, sign.
Like, yeah, like attached to the army, like a sort
Well,
of
it was,
doctor.
he was attached to, I think, like, the program.
Well, he was a colonel, so he's an army. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then I mistook that. Because he at least was somewhat more involved because he knew before
Right.
it started spreading this. Was it a virus? Because it was
Yeah.
off of a
Yeah, it's KV. It's a Crippen virus.
Yeah, because they made the virus to cure cancer.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So that also changed.
Yeah, but
But-
like I mean, again, if it was his own thing, I'd be like, that's cool. Like I love this take, and also just
Yeah.
the zombies terrifying. Like I've talked about this with a lot of friends, comparing different zombies from like different like franchises. Where like if it's a Walking Dead zombie apocalypse, I'm like I'm surviving 100%. But if it's World War Z or I Am Legend or The Last of Us, I am so dead. I am so dead in all of those. Like I Am Legend zombies, like there's no chance. Nobody's living. Nobody's living.
Yeah.
They're terrifying.
Well, also, airborne, like,
Yeah.
you're like, you're gone.
Yeah, you're done. But I'd like say
No,
you're
I would
immune.
be the 1%.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm different like that.
I already am in the 1%. You just don't know why. Take a guess.
Money.
No.
She's
Absolutely
rich,
not.
people. Eat the rich.
No. I get it. Like, zombies, haha, they would eat the rich. But, like,
And the poor.
oh, they're kind of equalist.
Dude. If you think about
Equality.
it.
Eat them all.
Dude, they're kind of like progressive.
If you really think about
If you
it,
really think about it.
they don't discriminate.
Yeah, equal rights.
I mean, Homeboy was kind of targeting them. Our main zombie vampire dude did kind of target.
Ben Corum. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
kind of not cool, kind
what'd
of
you
not
think-
progressive.
What'd you think of like the vampire zombie dogs?
It made me sad. Well, that whole scene was sad.
But
I don't
like-
want to get into spoilers yet, but I thought they were sick. I mean, the
Yeah.
way when you like saw the leader like
Come
just
out
whip
with
him,
him?
yeah,
That
you
was
knew
that was
you
terrifying.
knew shit was getting real.
Yeah, and dude, I loved the whole design of that scene too. I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was so cool. Where like they set up the trap for him, he gets trapped, and then he's hanging for a
That
while,
was
cuts himself down.
freaky.
Yeah,
I
and then
did
like
not
that little
expect that.
beam of light was the only thing protecting him, and then it just dissipates. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's such a perfect like that. I love that scene.
That's like peak action kind of.
yeah, and horror
yeah.
combined. Like it's really cool. I thought that like scene is so dope. But then you know what happens because of that scene, not so dope. Made me sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Before we get into spoilers, because I would say we kind of talked about a lot of general, but I don't think anything we really spoiled because most of the
No.
stuff you find out within the first 10 minutes
Yep.
that we've talked about, and then it just develops later throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So Afraid Not, we did not spoil it yet. Before that, like, or I want to talk about before we get into spoilers, like, what did you think about the performance and the characters and all that?
I mean, Will Smith, like, putting aside what he did to Chris Rock, like, phenomenal
is
actor.
the
This is
char-
pre-Chris Rock. Yeah, like, pre, well, I think her and Jada Pinkett, or him and Jada Pinkett Smith were still together. But anyways, he, I mean, he's a phenomenal actor. And he killed it in this
A lot
role.
of people didn't think that he was going to do, from what I noticed, like, researching, like, people, when he was announced as the, like,
Robert
actor,
Neville.
yeah, they thought that that was, like, a mistake, because he only was in, like, comedies before that.
That's true. But, I mean, I know everybody's seen that clip of him in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where, like, he's talking to Uncle Phil, and he's, like, upset that his dad didn't show up.
Yeah.
Bro, that is fantastic acting.
Yeah, he's so versatile, and people
He
didn't give
is.
him enough credit, but I think
And he killed it in that
killed
movie.
it in this movie.
So good.
Yeah, I will agree with that. But the other actor, well, okay, the actors that played the zombies, the vampires,
Yeah.
the Zampires, or
Zombires. There we go.
Wombies,
Zombies.
Vombies.
Vambies.
I'm gonna
All
say
right.
Zampires
Okay.
were good. Like, I know they CGI'd them.
Like the noises and stuff a lot of times. Yeah.
And the, movements and all that.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Anna at all. Like,
Yeah. Well,
her character made
she's a-
zero sense.
She's a trope.
Well, like, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But made zero sense in the end. Like, why did they make her so mysterious and then it played out into nothing? Like, it seemed like there was something more going on with her. I guess I'll talk about this more. I just
Um,
didn't
I mean,
like her.
I didn't really get that vibe.
Alex,
I think the whole point of like the interactions leading up to like the climax of the film, I think the whole point of that was just to show how like in the book how like Neville was meeting up with Ruth and he was figuring out like slowly interacting with her. He's like, oh, I've been alone so long I don't even care to interact with people anymore. I think that's what that was trying to show, because like they're supposed to be regular, and he's supposed to be just out of his mind, like crazy guy living in like a shed.
I guess, but I feel like they didn't play that into that enough.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the dog is what kept him like sane for a while, and once he lost that, he was just like he just lost his top.
Right, but that I don't think they played in like they didn't have enough time between those characters. I guess to
Yeah,
develop any like it felt all
Yeah.
rushed, and I'll get into why I thought she was just overall weird. The kid was whatever.
Yeah, he was just kid one. His name was Ethan, I think.
Yeah, it just was like that was literally just there, or he was a character to play. Whoa. He was a character just there to play into, like, oh, be sad because I'm a child and
Yep.
I deserve to live. And
Yeah.
it was like, okay.
Trope 1 and Trope 2, that's all they were.
Yeah. The mannequins were sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved that aspect. That was my
Yeah.
favorite part that they added. And I felt like it played, I don't know, it played into the fact that Neville would like talk to the vampires.
What the hell are
in
you
the
doing
book.
out here, Fred? No, what the? I love that scene.
But like,
It's kind of sad though. Like that scene was like sad
it was freaky
and
too.
freaky. Yeah, because like I've rewatched it a bunch, right? So like I would watch that scene and I rewind because it looks like the mannequin's head is moving, and you're kind of seeing it from Neville's like viewpoint.
Eyes, yeah.
So you're like, oh, so this is what he sees. So he's, and then also you don't really know when the first time you're watching him, like you're like, did that mannequin's head just move?
Interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
It's freaky, and like obviously when I was a kid, I was terrified.
Right.
I was like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, oh, it's Fred. What is Fred doing?
I'm freaking out here.
Yeah.
Not cool, man.
Not cool, Fred.
I feel like they were playing into like how Neville would talk to the vampires, or like the vampires would just be standing outside his house and they'd just be like doing whatever,
Right.
and he was just obsessed with that because like they really didn't. Obviously, they didn't do that in the movie because the vampires didn't act the same way. So like I'm glad that they added that, and I thought that was fun. Like,
Yeah.
Because it also showed that he was going crazy, just like talking to these mannequins, pretending they were people.
Right. I thought it was kind of smart,
Yeah.
like on his part. Like it was helping him get by.
Yeah. Do you think he moved them? Like.
Oh, he moved him to the trap? No.
No. Like.
Oh yeah, he definitely moved them in preparation for the next day. Yeah, he definitely did that. And then he asked out the mannequin, and then the next day he brought that mannequin home. And could you imagine?
For a second, I was like, did he carry her home?
Yeah.
Just,
And he's just like he makes the mannequin into his housewife.
oh my god. He just like to carry her home. He's just got his like the torso on this side and then the legs on this side. And
It's like, you're gonna love it back home. It's like, I got spaghetti, bro.
Bruh, that scene was so fun. Why did he like? It was funny because he kept it like looking back. The first time he was in that store, he kept like looking back at her, and
Yeah.
it almost seemed ominous because it wasn't just like him checking
Yeah.
this mannequin out. He seemed like scared.
Yeah, no, and he was. He's like, should I ask her out?
Like the rest of the movie or what was leading up was just like horror, and so then you're thinking, oh, is this gonna be like a jump scare or whatever? And then no, he's thinking about asking this mannequin out. Oh my god.
No, and then like afterwards, when the stuff happens, and then he
No.
goes up and he's talking to her. He's like, please say hello to me. That was so sad.
That was That
that did pull up my heartstrings.
made me feel bad.
Yeah.
I think it was also playing into Neville's character in the book where he like just needed a woman for
Yeah. Oh
whatever
yeah.
reason. He was like
Homer.
obsessed with.
Yeah.
He's like, I need myself a partner.
Yeah.
I
It's
was
like,
like, okay.
God, do I ever?
Okay. Okay, what were we gonna say? We only did what?
We only did Will Smith, but
No, we
that's
talked about them. I just gave all my opinions on everyone else, and then we started talking about the mannequins. But I don't
oh
think
right, yeah.
that I asked you what your opinions were. Besides, we talked about Will Smith.
Yeah.
What were your opinions on everyone else,
I mean,
including the
yeah.
mannequins by name,
The,
please?
the performances for pretty much everyone else were basically what they needed to be.
Tropes.
Yep. That's there's
They
not
were
much to say.
They were boring.
Yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, for Anna and Ethan, they were what they needed to be, and it was rushed. They could have definitely sped that up a little bit. And as far as for
Sped that up a little bit.
oh sorry, I was thinking of like the beginning part where
They could have
Neville's
ran the whole time.
yes that's true.
That would have been more efficient. I don't know why he wasn't running everywhere.
I want to say like Neville like his whole arc like showing the experiments he's doing and everything. It didn't necessarily feel rushed, but I feel like they could have added like some time to the movie. To,
Yeah,
like,
it was short.
it was pretty short, and I feel like the book was short too. I'll give them that, but.
But they didn't even reference the book.
They didn't, yeah. So they could have just changed it. I don't know. I guess they were running out of time.
Yeah.
And they felt pressed. I don't know.
I do. When we go into spoilers, I want to talk about Anna's character more in detail
Okay.
because I feel like that was.
Do we want to do like a rating, like a 1 through 10,
Oh
1 through 5?
shoot! Yeah.
We,
I
you know,
guess so.
I know we haven't done that the last few times.
I know we suck. We're here to review stuff and we're not even reviewing.
So I guess 1 through
We'll
5.
do out of 5. Yeah, keep it consistent.
As an
For this
adaptation.
movie, as an adaptation,
2. Maybe 1.75.
I would say 1. That 1 point goes to Neville as a character, the name, actually, specifically.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll give it 2.75 just because the general trajectory of Robert Neville was somewhat intact, except for the ending. And yeah.
Well, we'll talk, and I also want to talk about both endings when we get into it.
Yes, I really
there
want.
are 2, so stay tuned in for that. But I don't know. I would still stick with the 1. I think the 1 character goes, or the 1 star goes to Neville.
Okay.
That's it.
Fair enough. And then you know,
Yeah.
as far as like a movie rating,
I would say that it was a 3.5 to. I would say a 4 actually. Enjoyment wise, 4.
that's fair.
Production, like there was nothing crazy with the cinematography. Like there were some cool shots, but I feel like the lighting was a little weird. Like they could have made it super moody, and they really didn't. And the audio aggravated me. Like it made it scary, but then when they would start talking while like the sound in the background's like pumped up to 100, I was like, what do you expect me to get out of it? I don't know. That peeved me off. So that kind of took it down a little bit, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think 4.2 for me. There were certain scenes in here, and just general like cinematography and like there's some changes which like the zombie vampires, that like portrayal of them terrifying, like really, like I think it's a cool concept. I would like if
I
it
would
would be
agree with that.
if it was its own thing, I'd bump it up to like a 5
Mm-hmm.
because like I loved it.
Yeah, I feel like if this would have been cool as like a mini series, just 1 season,
Yes.
not like a whole apocalyptic show because there was already like a ton. I think that would have been cool, and they could have developed the zombie characters so much better. All of the characters,
and
but
just
especially
gone into all the niches really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even though this is such a short book, I feel like you can take a lot out of it, and it felt like it underperformed in that aspect.
Definitely.
Both endings. I know some people really love the alternate ending and think that that was like, an amazing portrayal, but I have to disagree with it. I still feel like it wasn't close enough to the book.
Yeah, I mean, they made too many changes. Like
Yeah.
They dug their own grave, pretty much.
Right.
Like.
And I feel like this is different from like something like Hill House because you know that it was not an accurate adaptation, but you knew that they were just taking the bare like concept and theme and they put it into this whole different world with these different characters that might have had the same names, but you knew that the directors did that on purpose. Well, this movie felt like it was trying to spin it around in this new world, but still like keep most of the stuff the same because it hit kind of the same plot points.
Yeah, it's kind of the same beats.
Right, and so it was like close enough to the book where I was like, okay, it's trying to be accurate, but it's not doing a good job, and so that's kind of where I get my beef with it because it's not like they made it into its own thing on purpose.
Right. And I want to go back to your miniseries point. I think I said this before on the podcast, but I think a miniseries is the perfect amount of time for any story.
Yes,
just about.
100%. Yeah. I wish everything was turned into a miniseries.
It's just a perfect amount of like time to go over all the characters and the story and the plot thoroughly. Yeah. And you don't have to beat it to death. Right. You know?
No, 100. I think all adaptations at this point should be because I don't know how you can adapt something.
Yeah.
Adapt.
Dude, man. I gotta get you into The Last of Us, bro.
No.
I do.
No.
You're gonna get into it.
I'm not.
I'm gonna get you to get into it. Why would
Don't make me.
Just get HBO. I'll give you my password, actually.
Wait, I have HBO.
You do?
I just got it, remember?
Dude,
I
okay.
I
that's right. Yeah, no, okay.
I forgot about it.
After you watch Euphoria, please watch The Last of Us.
I'll do it at the same time.
Okay.
I forgot that it was on HBO too. I need to add that. Because I got the free trial, so I have 7 days. I'm not going to be able to finish it. I'll probably just pay for a month and then cancel it.
Dude, I mean, HBO's a good streaming service. Anyways, we're getting off.
I'm testing the waters, but I'm broke. I'm not in the 1%.
Yeah.
I wish I was.
Me too.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move into spoilers.
Yes. Okay. So, man. So, do you want to start with the ending?
I want to intimidate you.
Do you want to start with the endings, or do you want to?
Are you sure you want to get into spoilers?
Mm-mm.
No, I think let's start with Ruth. Anna. Ruth Anna.
Okay. Ruth Anna. So her introductory. She hears the broadcasting in New York, and then Neville's trying to kill himself because he lost Sam, and
which is his dog. If you haven't watched the movie.
And oh my God, I don't care what anybody says. Marley and me, sad. Okay, sure, but this dog death is the most devastating dog death of all time. Anyways,
I disagree. I feel like. Well, I don't know about Marley and me. I haven't seen it. I can't compare the two.
Oh, it hurts.
But
it hurts. It hurts.
Have you seen Lat? No. Lat?
Lat? I have lats.
I'm thinking Lassie, but I don't think that's what I actually mean.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what movie that was, but I know Lassie. Yeah.
It's supposed to be sad.
Or is it Old Yeller?
That's another one, I think.
Yeah, there's so many dogs.
But there's the one that I have in mind that's not Lassie, and Hatchie. Have you seen Hatchie? That might not even be how you pronounce it, but it's like the movie with the Japanese dog that I can't remember the breed name.
Shibu.
Yes.
Shiba
yeah. You haven't seen it? Oh my God, it's so sad. It makes me cry every time.
Alright, we gotta watch out.
I think there's some sad dog books that have movie adaptations, so maybe we should cover that next and cry while talking about it.
Let's do it.
I really want to cry during one of these reviews.
Yes, dude, that's good. That's good content. But what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the introduction of Anna. So she comes in at an unknown time, hears Neville's broadcast roughly around the time that Sam dies. And Neville's trying to kill himself because he has nothing left. So he lures a bunch of the the Zampires.
Zampires.
A bunch of the Zampires. He lures them to a bridge where he usually sits throughout the day because he knows that they're like spying on him. And so he puts a mannequin at the desk where he sits during the day, and they run at him. And then he gets in his car and he just like runs a bunch of them over, and they're almost killing him. The Ben Corum almost like bites his throat out, and they come up with like UV lights, I want to say, and then like that scares him off, and they take him back to his apartment where he lives, and then he wakes up with stitches in his thigh and Shrek's playing. I love that.
Tell me why you repeated.
I love that scene. I love that scene. That would be me in
He's
the
just
apocalypse.
like, I love Shrek.
Yeah, me too, bro. Shrek is love.
That was so funny. I did not expect it.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a comedy now?
Yeah.
Bro.
Where he just recites it.
That was so uncalled for, but so
funny. I loved it. But yeah, so that's where it starts off. And I think they did a good job of those scenes with Anna, Ethan, and Neville. I thought it was doing a pretty good job of like showing like how Neville was feeling where he was at, but it's like they were just tropes. Like she's like, "There's hope, Neville. There's a survivors colony," and he's like, "Everybody's dead. Everybody you know is dead."
I felt like I was immersed into the movie. That was amazing.
Yeah, dude.
I can feel the tears coming now.
Yeah. Start
There's hope.
crying.
I swear, I have a butterfly tattoo.
But I just yelled at you, and you're questioning yourself. And actually,
I've been gaslighted. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, they like I've seen that actress in a couple other things, and she's pretty good. And
I don't recognize her.
I couldn't tell you what movies or shows, but I know she's been in stuff, and she's pretty good. But and like for what the performance was, she did alright.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything with the actual actress. I don't know. It was literally just the trope. That was it. Like she was flat besides that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that scene, you could definitely tell his isolation was getting to him, and he was a little like messed up. Like he had a whole breakdown kind of,
Yeah,
which I thought was
eggs
good.
at the wall.
Yeah, and then he was like, I was saving that bacon.
Yeah. That's valid.
Yeah, honestly, as someone that's like a vegetarian, I even get where he's coming from. But no, seriously, like I get weird about that kind of stuff, and whenever I'm like overwhelmed or like something like that is happening, like that extreme situation, I feel like I focus on the most minor thing because I'm like, I could have at least controlled that, and then I didn't even get to control that aspect.
Right.
And so like, I would absolutely do so. I would throw my eggs and I would yell about the bacon, and I don't even eat bacon, but. Like, I thought that was really good, and I thought the whole Shrek thing was really funny, because you know that he's, like, watched it. Like,
a million times, yeah.
And so, I was like, okay, yes, very good, and then he's yelling about how everyone's dead, and then he's just kind of like, anyways, and then he, like, works with them.
Yeah, for a little bit, but you don't get enough time. You don't, and I think...
Right, because it made no sense what he, like, just, I mean, he didn't really change his mind, but he
was just doing what he had been doing, because he's like, okay, well, I got what I wanted, I got companions now, so I guess I'll just keep going. I think that's where he was at.
Yeah, and I was like, whatever, I don't know, I don't care about these characters. Like,
yeah, if we would have got more time, I feel like I would have, over time.
It just felt like you were supposed to, just because it's a woman and her son.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I was like, it felt like a cop-out. Like, that was so dumb. And then, when, like, the vampires come out, and like charge the place, and then they just run, like they ran to hide, her and her son, and he's like searching and he keeps calling and you don't hear anything. Like it felt ominous. It felt like there was something more going on. Like she was a part of this, kind of like the book.
You know, I think they were depending on that sort of suspense.
But like then it doesn't play out. She was just hiding because there was a Zampire.
Like digging in the wall, trying to open trying to open up another hole.
Bro was munching.
Yeah, he was munching those 2x4s.
But I was just like, why it played so much of him not really knowing what she's all about, and I thought like, okay, maybe this isn't like an the virus is evolving, kind of like with the book.
Yeah.
I was like, that would be really cool if they introduced this aspect because we do already know that the Zampires have thought and their mind's still working and he's working on a cure, but maybe that cure like doesn't fully cure them. It just gets them to kind of ease their aggression and maybe the virus is already developing. I was like, okay, I could understand how they bring this in. That would be really cool. And then nope, she's just like, God saved me, or like God has a plan. And
which if I had somebody come into my house after all that and start saying that to me, that would make me so mad.
and I think it was kind of playing off of how Ruth had the cross and was kind of sort of religious. It wasn't even the God aspect that bothered me. It just was like whatever.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying that about that part, but genuinely that's all I thought when her character was on screen. I didn't care. And if I just like separated her from that, like the play out of everything else was really good. And like almost directly after that was kind of the end. Like that was.
I would have liked more expansion on the Survivor colony because they had a cool setup. That was pretty cool. Like a bunch of like what was it, windmills, and then like a goat farm. Like they had
a dog in there.
They had a couple dogs. Yeah, they had it made. Like that was the spot. Like that didn't even look like a dystopia. Like that just looked like a nice time. A nice little farmland.
I'd just go there on my weekend off.
Dude, yeah, I would. That would be fun. But anyways, yeah, the spin ending. Obviously that was what the movie was heading towards, and they're like, okay, well, we need a cure, and he's gonna get the cure, and he's gonna sacrifice himself. And that was definitely what it was heading towards.
Well, the ending, that was the second ending. That's the one they re-filmed because people didn't watch or didn't like the first one.
Oh,
which is the alternate. That was the first
one.
Oh,
right. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So it wasn't, the movie itself wasn't necessarily heading towards that. So it kind of felt like, well, I guess they planned the survivor camp for both parts anyways. But they really didn't develop it, and you can kind of tell in the one that was produced or like released into the cinema, you can tell that they really didn't think that out because originally there was this survival camp or survivors camp that was like almost unattainable, and Neville gets the opportunity, like he finally finds the cure, and he decides to sacrifice it and sacrifice this opportunity to survive. I mean, they still head towards it, but like it's a totally different way. Like
the Zampires saw like it was the same sort of feeling at the ending of the book, in the sense where the Zampires are like, you're the monster, we just want our person back. But obviously it plays out way differently. But it has that same sort of sentiment, which like when I didn't know about the book at all, and I heard there was an alternate ending, I watched it, and I was like, oh wow, I was like, this is a cool spin. I kind of like this, but like now that I have the book ending, which is just better in so many ways, I'm like, wow, okay, that's first off, it wasn't like even the filmmaker's original thought. They just took his idea and then spun it in a worse way. And I'm like, doesn't work as well.
Honestly, people rave about that ending, and I don't get it because I feel like it's even worse to do something like that because it didn't expand enough to, I don't know, feel that good. I don't. I just felt like the movie didn't do enough throughout the whole movie to kind of allow that ending.
But I would agree. Yeah, like.
Because it's like, okay, now you want to stick with the book and then also still make it worse because he got Neville gets away with it. They don't
Yeah.
do anything to him. I was like, torture him.
Yeah, yeah, no, like they would like much rather just rip him to shreds. Like that didn't make any sense that they just left him. Because
Exactly. Because he also killed so many other ones before that.
so many.
And I was like, it was too easy. And I kind of,
It's a cop out for sure.
yeah, it was. And I still think that the one that they released with was. I'm not saying that that one's any better, but
I think it's a little bit better
it makes more sense
for
in
the
that
film.
exactly in this action kind of horror aspects, but it's more of an action movie. Honestly, there's a
Yeah.
lot of just action shots, and it makes sense. I understand why they would do that for the mass audience. That's what they expect. The happy ending, where the main protagonist is right
Sacrificing
and
himself for the greater good.
mm-hmm. It's like okay, but I don't know. They both were kind of just like.
So apparently, like this was a while ago. I saw that like an article about this. They were planning to actually do a sequel to like the movie, and like me being at the time not knowing that there's a
Right.
book, I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, more
Get them
Zampires.
curing everyone.
Yeah, more Zampires? Are you kidding me? Let's go. But yeah, now that I know, I'm like,
Oh my god, that would have been detrimental.
yeah, it was so bad, so bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
And apparently, so Will Smith was just like, okay, if you write the script and let me read it, and then I can decide. He's like, then I'll do it. But I think they just didn't let him read the script, and he's like, I'm not doing it.
Well, how would he if he's dead?
Yeah.
What?
I think so. I think they were gonna do it off the alternate ending.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
still would have been
Yeah,
awful,
yeah, it would have
but
been so bad because then it
it's
would have.
better than the other one where he's just not in it and it's following this Anna character.
No, I like thinking about it now. Like that would have been such a bad idea because then it would have just been adventures of Neville and Anna.
Oh my god, it would have been awful.
And like they could probably do something kind of cool with the Zampires that might be like, oh, that's neat. But
that's my favorite comment
neat.
to make in the movie. Yeah, I don't think they had enough to make it into a movie.
Not at all.
With where they went, like that was it. Both endings, either way, because
Yeah, because if you're just gonna follow Ethan and what's her face, no,
yeah,
no bueno.
mm-mm. Yeah. I was disappointed. I'll say that at the end.
Yeah.
I
But did you have a fun time watching it?
I did.
Yeah.
I did have a good time, and I feel like if I watched the alternate ending first, like if that was the version that I watched, I still probably would have. Either way, I would have enjoyed it the exact same.
Yeah.
Um.
Because we're not getting a sequel. So it's like, okay, it's done.
Yeah. And they're both equal in my mind. I don't know. People raved about the second ending. Like.
I remember the rave too. That's why I looked it up. I was just like, oh, I gotta see this ending.
I know. I really like. I kind of feel like I understand the concept. It's not even like it's oblivious to me. Maybe it is. I don't know. I am kind of dumb, but I can understand the impact that it was making. And it was Will Smith's character Neville realizing that he was in the wrong, and you know, putting himself in this situation where they could have totally attacked him when he was bringing the body out.
Yeah.
But he realized what he had done and he wanted to make amends. But I was like, you don't get to be let off scot free.
Because that's like not what they were playing up these Zampires to be the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you just multiple times he just walks into the dark and they try to kill him and they're just mindless.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost mindless. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I just want to kill and eat him.
Yeah. I guess it was kind of the alternate ending was kind of better in the fact that it concluded why they made these mindless beings also like not in the same way. Like they were
Yeah.
advanced enough to make this trap and to not step out into the light. And like the husband
Oh yeah.
was trying, like, almost sacrificed himself to get his wife back, but, you know, like, so you could tell that they still cared for each other.
Yeah.
And I will say that the ending that they chose does kind of just be like, why would they do all that? Just so, like, they would run after and, or, like, hunt him down, and that was it, just so they could die. So I'll give props to the alternate ending for kind of concluding that storyline, but then it left everything else open. I
Yeah.
felt like, because I think Neville didn't have enough, you know, progression and character development to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And I did like that they included, like, the butterfly
Yeah. That was a nice touch.
aspect. Yeah. And when the first time that I watched the alternate ending, it didn't include that part, so it made no sense why he just started bringing the body out. I was like, wait, how did he come to that? But then when, like, the character smudges the butterfly into the glass
Yeah.
before he, like, tries to crush it, and then he realizes that the body that the other Zampire that he was testing on has a vampire or a butterfly tattoo.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Instead of Anna, for whatever reason, having a butterfly. I don't. It's just. I thought that was interesting, but I don't know. Either way, they just felt like the movie didn't think it fully through and
Yeah.
left a lot of plot holes.
They really just want to make that story their own, which, you know, I don't applaud that sentiment, but it did make a decent movie.
Yeah.
Can't really complain too hard.
Yeah. Let's forget about the book.
Yeah, forget about it.
And this was really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't. Well, I guess we were kind of harsh on this movie a little bit, but
Yeah, we kind of were.
but I don't know. It still is a good movie. Like I feel like like with Carrie, I was very harsh on that movie. I did not like that movie. Stand by that. But
I forget about it. Honestly, I kind of forget that we went over that.
That's the most underwhelming Stephen King book I've read, if I'm going to be honest.
The book itself?
Yeah, it's not that great.
I disagree. I really like the book. I don't even care. I don't have to read anything else.
To his other stuff, I mean, like, we're talking about The Shining, The Stand.
None of which I have read or seen the movies for, but I still stand on my... No, I feel like it was a really good all around. I don't know. I guess I'd have to
It's
read
not
more.
a bad story, but, like, out of all the other masterpieces he's made, like...
I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna get you to read The Shining one day. I think that's the one.
That is one on my list. I'm not gonna read it.
I get it. It's just too much of a time hack for us
Yeah,
right now with this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, next week we're also not doing Emma.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
we mentioned
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
the last episode.
Thank
It's gonna be
God.
another. We're gonna have a book in between. And
That
we're
book
gonna
is
read
hard
it.
to read.
Hey, no spoilers.
I feel so stupid reading it.
I do too. So yeah, that'll be 3 weeks away, I guess. We'll
Yeah.
have a book in between, and we go over the movie. What are we going over? All the lights in the sky and the western in the front.
Oh my goodness! Wow, you just combined two names. All is Quiet on the Western Front.
Mhm.
I cannot wait for you to see that movie. It's awesome.
I heard it's really good. I heard the book has really good reviews too.
Yeah, all around good stuff. I think you'll like it.
I won't.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to listen to next week's episode.
Yeah. You hear that, for listeners?
Anyways, I guess we should ask you guys to like and subscribe. And,
Yeah. Hit the little notification bell.
We're really passionate about this movie and next week's book that I haven't started.
Dude, that's awesome.
No, seriously, I'm excited, and I love going over just all different sorts of.
Yeah, we are all over the place. My
Yeah,
goodness.
I love that.
We're really trying to grasp a wide audience. Here.
Well, I think we're at the point where we're still figuring out our taste, or we might know what our taste is, but it's like there's
Trying to
so
explore.
much. Yeah, we want to
definitely.
make sure that we're not missing anything, and I think we've covered a lot of books that have we wouldn't have.
Yeah, definitely with Sally Rooney. You really got me into her. I'm glad you did. I like her a lot.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I would not have read The Haunting of Hill House. I don't think that was not That was so
You're
good
welcome.
too. And
You're
I
welcome.
finally finished the show. Oh my god, that changed my life. I do think about that a lot.
You want to rewatch it soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it after this episode.
Epic.
So let's end this so I can get to it because you guys are holding me up. Anyways,
Yeah.
bye.